Hello everyone and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we are checking out I asked lead devs about skins and game modes by Necrit. I believe this is when he was at Riot's headquarters, right? And will we have a little interview with League of Legends devs in this particular one. I mean, you know what I feel about Necrit's videos? They are great and he really knows about the lore and stuff, so it's always a blast to hear from him. And yeah, this particular video will be in the description below. Go check it out for yourself first and then come here check these, I guess, life-size Tibers with me. So yeah, without further ado, let's check it out.
As some of you may know, last month I got a chance to travel to Riot's headquarters. And there I got to talk to a bunch of Riot's teams, which also included the League of Legends team. And luckily we did have some time to also do an interview.
Yay!
Though, remember that I did the interview with only a laptop and a USB microphone.
So the sound
is
quality?
not gonna be anything amazing, but we did talk about some really interesting topics. However, I am aware of the fact that not everyone is into talking about game development. So, because this was a unique opportunity, I also got to troll them a little bit. You'll see that towards the end of the video. Lastly, I should mention that throughout this video, they scheduled a fire alarm drill. So yeah, when people suddenly start panicking, that's what it was.
Okay.
First question, an awesome thing that you guys did is that you slowed down new champion releases. Mm-hmm. Can you kind of like tell the story of like how you arrived at that conclusion, where you never really announced it. It kind of like happened, right? Where like it's like slowed down and people were like, well, we don't really know what's happening, and that's like then it kind of became obvious that like new champions slowed down. Yeah, can you talk about that one?
Yeah, so every year when it actually happens sometimes in December, but at some point during the year, we're planning out our roadmaps for the coming years. And we look at what does the game need most. And sometimes in years past, it's been, we need a lot of new gameplay, new characters, new experiences in the game. Sometimes that was done through champions, where we're shipping multiple champions every week, sometimes, or every 2 weeks, sometimes multiple in a
I don't even remember when was that frequent.
Over time, we've found that like the game is doesn't need as many new champions to like.
I agree with that.
Experiences for players.
The pool becomes saturated then.
Just that balance, and the other thing that happened was there were other things we wanted to do. And we don't have million people working on League, and we saw other opportunities in the game that could use more effort and more content, like game modes.
Right, I think.
Okay.
Not just the number of people as well, but
yeah, but where are game modes now?
Who'd be really good on game modes, for example, like the one you just played, who are also the exact people who are really good at some of the champion development process. So yeah, not just about the numbers, but
I mean, I always thought
human beings as well,
Like the idea always was in the community that like maybe a league didn't have any new maps anymore because that team moved on to TFT because TFT suddenly got a lot of boards and like league didn't have any.
I mean, we did build the initial TFT team by taking the League Modes team and a few other folks and going, thank you.
Right.
So that's also just been the need to rebuild modes capability and maps capability.
Right.
Yeah, because we literally did move it.
Yep. When it comes to ASUs, do you like how much value right now are ASUs compared to like VGUs and new champions?
What do you mean by value?
Because like how much? It's kind of hard to describe. Like how much? Because
how important are they?
Yeah, exactly. Like how important are ASUs right now?
I mean, we think the game continuing to feel good, to look pretty modern, to be updated is really important, and that plus sort of the desire to make things easy to make content for, like skins or new animations or whatever, it drives a lot of the ASU pipeline.
Right.
Exactly how important it is in terms of...
I'll be honest, I forgot what the term means.
This much to the lifespan of League, or this many more player hours, or this much more sentiment, that's really hard to quantify. So we're pretty convinced it's very important to do those and VGUs and so on to keep the game updated. But it's a pretty qualitative question versus some of the other stuff that can be a lot more quantitative.
Like VGUs are visual graphics, right?
Do you want to dig into?
I don't know. I kind of like it. You know what? Actually, yeah, there's one that I want to dig into. What about Cho'Gath?
I mean, It feels like he's kind of like in the corner. Everyone's like trying to pretend he doesn't exist, and you know, it's kind of like it's not even pizza feet. I think it's like 3 polygon feet, if maybe that.
Yeah, his models are a bit on the old side. I mean, it's funny because you know we're talking about ASUs now, but there are VGUs and there are mid-scope updates and there are VO updates. I think like regardless of the acronym or the thing that we call it, we do see a lot of value in making sure that like all champions are getting love and support and meet modern expectations. Players are putting time and love and effort and energy into like playing these champions and caring about them, and so 5 years, 10 years down the road, we want to make sure that those are still meeting the quality bar for them.
Right.
I think shows a fair call out of he's showing his age, and don't get me wrong, I'd love to see a modern take on Gentleman Cho. Like, I always loved that skin. I'd love to see what we could do with a revised version.
First skin I ever bought, actually.
At the same time, I do think our creatures, on average, tend to age a little bit better because they don't get into that weird. It's not quite uncanny valley, but you know, this just looks so clearly wrong because I know what a person is meant to look like, and it's not that.
Right.
And so any form of creature, or even a yordle, gets a little bit of a pass.
Right.
Not to say we shouldn't do them, but I think the urgency of hitting Corky, for example, is going to be quite as high as like old Sivir or something, you know.
And Corky was interesting because there was the awesome cinematic where he got a new model, and then everyone was expecting new Corky in League. Didn't get there yet. Yeah, it's totally fine. We'll get there eventually.
I'm giving more than 3 animations, hopefully.
In one of the posts, you mentioned that you were working on new AI for for like minions and stuff and monsters. Does that mean that it is possible that in the future we might see PvE in League?
That's a good question.
Careful answer.
Should we talk first about what new AI in particular we're working on?
Yeah.
And then we can come back to the PvE question.
So the AI that we're focused on building right now is for improved bots in the game that you want to play against. So
okay.
AI is an introductory mode for a lot of players, but it doesn't at all resemble how the game of League of Legends really should be experienced. And we just have
It's been a while since I played a co-op.
I mean, so we want to create a space where you can play
Years.
AI-controlled opponents and try out new builds, try out a champion that you haven't played before in a sort of low-stakes environment. And doing that means that we have to kind of re-architect our entire way that bots work. They're very hand-scripted right now.
Right.
So we want to leverage all the exciting new advances in AI to allow for more higher skilled and more lifelike bots to play against.
Yeah, I mean that'll be a gradual process.
I wanted to joke that maybe the bots can use chat.
And,
join the community.
I mean,
our current bots.
Some events, the Doom bots,
They do that, don't they?
those were
But
like
for genuine new
typing
players,
in the chat.
those bots are way too hard.
All right.
Funny as that sounds, but for experienced players who just want to do something that's not PvP, they're trivial.
Right.
So getting more human-like bots that can jungle, all that sort of thing.
Right.
In terms of PvE, I mean, never say never, but current focus for like any sort of modes work is the sort of thing you just saw with Arena.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that goes. We'll learn a bunch about what players are looking for.
Right.
Keep reassessing.
So now it seems like the focus has gone from new champions to more gameplay-oriented stuff. There's gonna be the 2v2v2, which was announced a while ago actually now.
That mode is
so
pretty
now,
fun.
Like, people started speculating about new game modes that are possible, and when Nico got a rework, people kind of like clung onto the idea of Nico's prop hunt. Is that technically possible to play?
Anything is possible.
Cool.
Actually,
big claim.
it is a really fun idea, and I think I'd love to explore that.
Right. We're not like announcing anything. Just want to.
I can't see any reason.
I'll be totally for that idea. That sounds cool.
Very trivial. We've got a lot of disguise taking place. I think the main question is just going to be the trade-off one of do that or
Right.
do some other
Right,
mode that
right.
might be lighter on the initial novelty but have more staying power.
Yeah. Is it? Do you think it's also possible to like shift from like the quote unquote meta of League, where you are trying to win, into like a game mode where winning is not even a goal? Because it's kind of an interesting thing where these days people love like just general like party games. I don't know, like Among Us, stuff like that, and even battle royales are based around the fact that you just don't expect to win. Do you think League has a place where you can make a game mode where you just don't queue in with the idea of winning and just like queuing for fun?
Ooh.
Definitely. I think
Is that like a question that you ask yourselves?
Oh yeah, I mean it was one of the big ones with Arena
Oh, yeah.
in terms of, hey, if we want to capture some of that battle royale feel
Right.
of you're probably not going to win, but go in and try a bunch
Right.
of stuff and see how it goes.
Yeah, Arena goes into that
I think the other
category.
thing in there is also just, League increasingly having a bunch of different audiences within it. So it's less about League players want X and more, hey, these 30% of players want this, and these 40% want the hardcore core ranked experience, and those 30% want sort of semi-competitive, semi-wackier stuff like hopefully Arena.
I mean, to be fair, like, because I'm pretty sure I can say now where I tried it, and I wouldn't be surprised if people wanted this game mode to stay permanent, because the idea of having 4 teams of twos, where again it's a lower chance of winning. Now it's 25%. It feels more like you're just in for wacky fun, and if you try hard, you still have a pretty high chance of losing. Actually, yeah, because the chance of losing is now so high that I wouldn't be surprised if people like decide to troll every now and then. But then again, people are gonna min-max everything. And connected to that, we also got a new meta game in the client with this. Is this something that you would consider being a greater focus for League? And also, when you have because if I look at Wild Rift, like Wild Rift had quite a few of these little events. There was a little snowy one where you had a little burrow shooting little snowballs around, and I always felt like that would be really hard to like put into the client. Is there like how much of a balance there is with the struggle of the client and you actually being able to like take unique ideas and shove them into the client as like mini games for events and stuff?
Yeah, we'll
That's a
know a lot more after
loaded question.
Yep,
Also,
we'll know a lot more after we see how this one goes,
Yeah.
both in terms of does it technically perform as
Yeah.
we hope? Do players care about it as we hope they will?
Oh, yeah.
And do we sort of therefore see a lot of value in running something like this again? We'll probably do a dev blog or something on the tech behind this at some point, but this one's built using a very different tech approach than regular stuff in the client, so it's more like embedding something separate
right.
in the game rather than building it in the normal way.
So did you do any extra steps to like make sure in the future you can do like more of this stuff? It's kind of hard to describe what I mean by this. Like, when you because
New capabilities.
this, absolutely, because this version is like, it feels very different from even like how during Ruination you had that little like map loading and stuff like that. It felt like that was like totally different tech now.
Yeah, I mean, this is our first big test of that new technical approach. The small test we did that a bunch of players picked up on was a little cupcakes themed event in Oceania only in February as a, hey, could this work? Let's get it in the wild, let's make sure this performs.
Right.
The conclusion being, hey, yeah, that worked pretty well, sweet, let's take the big swing with the Soul Fighter thing. And then if this goes well, then we can start figuring out, cool, do we try and do some of these, I don't know how often, but again in the future, or was this a huge amount of work for something nobody cared about, or did this perform well technically internally but didn't work on players' machines, all those sort of things.
Right. All right.
I'm pretty optimistic, but
It
yeah,
feels good
we'll
so
find out
far.
real soon.
Feels good so far.
Hey, good stuff.
And I have one more very interesting question. When you look at other games, for example Fortnite, it's kind of interesting how you can play as Naruto, who's shooting Darth Vader, and then Master Chief comes in. Do you think like a League can ever arrive at that point? Because there are actually some people who like, they would really love to see like League collab with other IPs and maybe like bring in other characters from other IPs into League. Do you think that's possible?
No.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
I am totally okay with that answer.
It's not technically impossible, but it's more that the experience that we want every player to have is for their champion to feel really grounded in the world, that the champion makes
Yeah.
sense, that you have expectations.
all
of
characters
who
are
and what
like
their relationships are with other champions of the
in
game.
the lore and
I think if
I
we
mean
start introducing
in the Runeterra,
things
right?
that are really far
It would be really random to see random Naruto in the league.
it breaks that level of connection between
Yeah.
you, your champion, and the rest of the champions.
Interesting question, but I am totally
I think there are
okay
potential
with
opportunities
the no
for
answer.
us to
Actually, I prefer
take
it.
inspiration and to collaborate with other creators in a way that still maintains that level of IP consistency.
I could see the potential for skins though. I mean,
Like
some
a Caitlyn skin, maybe?
ultimate skins, right?
Alright.
Being in that
So
sort
that's
of
pretty
way.
much
I don't know.
from the question mark. I also prepared a little, because, I know
Okay, is this the trolley bit?
making video games is hard. I know that. So, I prepared a little therapy session where I'm gonna show you pictures and you're just gonna tell me how you feel, alright?
Oh.
Okay.
Alright. So, starting with... How do you feel?
Wonderfully modern.
Big bug.
Alright. How do you feel about this one?
Whoa.
I feel like I might be seeing a trend.
Uh-huh.
Visually too complex to read well in game, but some really cool elements in there.
Alrighty.
But it doesn't read as Cho'Gath too.
Okay.
Really, feels like Void Bug, but not Cho'Gath,
Alright.
personally.
Yeah. Void
I can see that.
What about this one?
rock.
Alright.
Simple.
Gotta say scissors. Come on.
Yeah.
What about this one?
Oh, that brings me back.
It's nostalgic.
Yeah.
Wow.
A little bit of. What about this one?
Is that the Earth grave? What am I looking at?
Absolutely. It's
Oh,
Halloween
man.
2014, 12, earlier.
That was the
Yeah.
one that when you ran past it would pop your Banshee's veil.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, he would actually throw a
Hated
spatula.
that.
He would throw a spatula at you. Yeah.
At the same time, I love the flavor.
Okay.
What about-
I'm not sure if I played that time yet.
Is that Magma Chamber?
So, original one.
Yeah, so funny story.
Mhm.
I started writing 2011, and I told all about this Magma Chamber thing.
Uh-huh.
And I was supposedly making it. I turned up day one, and nobody was playing it, and I was curious what was going on. Turned out I'd been long dead by that point in time.
Uh-huh.
And I'm told that the conclusion they'd run into was, hey, one, a really, really big map, even with a bunch of teleporters around it, actually just had a huge amount of downtime that wasn't fun. And two, they were increasingly convinced, based off looking like Twisted Tree Line and so on, that the core competitive player, at least, wanted to master one map rather than
Right.
spread across a bunch. So I can understand the move away from Magma Chamber, I think.
So-
We're also calling one of the arenas.
So this wasn't actually a
Magma
legend.
Chamber.
Like this was actually real.
I believe they playtested it. I don't. That's concept.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like how many players was it like aimed for?
It's still a 5v5.
Really?
Yep.
Oh god.
Yeah. And I gather it never.
I understand now.
Gather it never got beyond the grey box and stuff.
Alright.
So there was never a fun, genuinely playable
Alright.
Magma Chamber, as far as I can tell.
Good looking concept though.
All right. Next one. This one.
It's one of the
Do you know what it is?
That's from
Oh.
the
Arcane website.
Arcane. What was that thing called?
I forgot
It
actually.
was the browser-based.
Yeah.
I mean, I did
Do you think
played
this can ever
that
fit into the client now?
particular
Deck?
event. I'm not sure how
If
to
you
call
did
it.
this in the client, that would legitimately be the best thing you ever did.
Yeah, sorry. I love the intent with that. I don't think we nailed the execution.
I actually think it was pretty good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I struggled myself.
Alrighty. Next
Well, what it
one.
was trying to be, though.
Pretty good. Next one. What about this one?
Sorry, can you tilt that slightly? It's a little dark.
Sorry.
Oh, Savika.
It is.
Okay. Savika's sweet.
Any potential for the future?
Maybe.
I mean, I think there are a lot of cool characters in Arcane that have potential.
You mean such as this one?
I don't know. I don't remember that character being in Arcane.
It reminds me of the NASA skin where it has the like.
I think it's
hat
Space
and
Groove actually.
The
Is
Space
it?
Groove
Yeah.
NASA skin, yeah.
Well, Fire Hazard.
Well,
Well,
we nearly made it.
We nearly made it.
Okay, speedrun.
Speedrun? Okay. Next one.
Huge number of copyright challenges, but I do find it hilarious.
Pass.
Alright.
Pass.
we get better.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
I had been deeply I'd been looking forward to playing Overwatch 2 PvE.
I mean, since PvE, what about this one?
Odyssey, great in some respects.
Ooh.
Whole bunch of problems. I'm hoping we're taking some of the right lessons for Arena with the audience.
It's the last one. It's the last one. What about this one?
I mean,
Play.
I got a take, or do you want to?
an epic experience.
I really enjoyed the storytelling for this one.
I think we got the setup right. I don't think we got the big resolution right.
Aye, and that's,
Okay.
that's a wrap. We are literally
Yep,
being
okay.
interrupted by a fire
Sorry,
alarm.
we
We
got
actually
that.
have to run away, literally. So thank you, everyone.
Sorry, I got to ask.
Oh?
If they're minion slippers,
Uh-huh.
are they red minion slippers worn by red team? Or are they red minion slippers worn by blue team because they killed red team minions and skinned them?
It's a very good question.
Because I'd always assumed the former, but I'm suddenly suspicious.
Look, I know I'm the lore guy. I don't actually know the lore of the slippers.
Nice. I don't know. Some questions were interesting. Some I didn't quite get what actually the question was. It was very loaded. And for some, I forgot what the terms are called. AUs and I mean VGUs. You can remind me that in the comments below. But the whole idea, I mean, I like the game modes that they made, right? Very, like, a large majority of game modes that they released and have them on the client like for a couple of weeks / months. Those were very enjoyable. I don't quite have any bad ones in mind currently. If anything else, I really, with my friends, we really want to have one map for hide and seek, which was Dominion, right? But that one was removed alongside the Twister tree line. So if they could make a Nico prop hunt game mode thingy, that would be cool. I totally agree that we don't need random other characters being put in champions and a sort of a collaboration with League. I mean, all the champions in this particular game are coexisting in the Legends of Runeterra or just Runeterra universe, right? So it would be really random to see a random Naruto coming along. Yeah, I could potentially be up for the skins that look to a particular character from I don't know, any other show. That could be a possibility, but I really don't think that mashing or collaborating with other shows for this game is a good thing. I'm totally fine with them slowing with the new champion releases. I mean, as I said, I don't quite remember them being that frequent. I mean, I believe there were like, I don't know, every 2 months there was a new champion coming up when I was starting playing this game. So I mean, we clearly got like very far, and we have a lot of champions now, so we don't need that much more, right? And I mean, they are getting money from skins either way, so I mean, getting more champions will only hurt us more. But yeah, I mean, I believe that technology is like the most tipping point for League to still be like a very good game in the future. I mean, client and the game itself, I mean, we have the moments where they just stop working or work very buggy. So yeah, I don't know if they manage to upgrade that and to make, I don't know, some mini games in the launcher itself or the client. I believe that some of the players would be totally alright with that. So yeah, for this trolley part at the end here, I mean, it was a nice, I guess, change, seeing some old stuff, what they're thinking. I mean, I know that upgrading character champion models is like very, I mean, I assume is a very hard thing to do, and that's why they are not just doing it, right? But for some champions that got reworks, they were pretty great. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how many people are currently working in League of Legends department, but I mean, I would say that they need more. And not just the random ones that don't know how to do stuff, but the proper ones that understand the game and can make it better. That's my take. So yeah, thank you for checking this one out. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below with your thoughts on it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, click that bell for notifications to be informed of my next reactions, gameplays, reviews, and other things you guys put in the comments below for me to check out. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!